Alrighty, so here we are again. These are likely to be shorties and quickies lately, but I'm looking at into this week with a little hope of trying to get some projects done. Like I said yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I'm going to have most of this week. I'm probably going to be putting in about 40 hours at the new job and continue with the same stuff I'm doing with the other stuff. So my hours are pretty well spoken for, but I want to see if I can horn in a little bit of time to work on some t-shirt designs. So let's see if I can. Did I pull up that file yesterday to work on? Well, I know I pulled it up. I don't know if I kept it up to work on. So let's see if I can find the document. So some of the things I've chosen roughly for the Teespring t-shirt designs. So like Snarkmonger, I'm debating on one. I had this idea. People love those like silly little pugs doing like wearing sunglasses and stupid stuff like that. And it's popular and dog lovers will love it. And it's adorable for some people. I'm not a big pug dog person, but this occurred to me while I was working at the register at the retail store that I work at, and somebody was purchasing a cheap pair of sunglasses, and somewhere along the way somebody mentioned something about dogs or something somewhere in the store, and so I'm like, my brain just will sometimes throw out these random ideas, and so it threw out this. I might have been humming. We don't have music playing in this store, so I may have been humming some classic rock songs to myself, and somehow all of these things came together at the moment I was standing in the store, and I went specs, pugs, and rock and roll, and I think that would be an adorable thing to put in a t-shirt with an image of a pug dog, but even more than that, I'm going back and forth. Like specs, like sunglasses, and pugs instead of drugs. And instead of doing rock and roll, I may do Rocky Road. So you could have some woman wearing sunglasses, eating Rocky Road ice cream with a pug hanging out in a lounge chair next while she's doing that. Something like that. Some variant on that. That one's actually a little more cartoon based. So I have like the Snarkmonger, which is just text. It's script. It's what's the term for that? That's lettering, hand lettering that I would do. I have a couple of the political commentary ones, and I had this idea for a series of shirts that for those people out there who are like, oh no, I'm on a low carb diet, or I'm gluten free, or all these like food fad fanatics. One of the things that occurred to me to do was like have a t-shirt that says, I ate a carb today, I'm subversive like that. Or I just list little inane things. Like they're not rebellious or amazing like expressions of anybody's worldview or perspective, but we've gotten to the point as a culture where we have a tendency to say things like, you have to eat organic, home, locally grown, fresh, raw vegan, and like if you do anything outside of those, you're a shocking rebel. And it's sort of weakened the concept of what constitutes rebellion. And I thought it would be fun to do like, I'm subversive like that, after all of these inane, stupid things, like I had a bagel and, I made pasta last night, or and some of it's going to be, fittingly snarky, where, like a women's t-shirt and saying like, yeah, I don't have a boyfriend, I'm subversive like that. Or, yeah, I'm not going to ever have kids, I'm subversive like that. Just in a real way, being able to say like, it's not a big thing that I'm doing, but we're going to act like it's the world's biggest decision that's being made here. So I think that would be a fun series of shirts to do. I've thought about doing a series of shirts with the statement "glorious abomination of." Now, I wanted to do this as a series of shirts too. I may do the name of a dish, like the root beer pancakes with vanilla bean syrup, vanilla bean ice cream syrup, and do that as a title there, and then say a glorious abomination of deliciousness. And that's the name of the series. So every recipe that I make would be a glorious abomination of deliciousness. And so it's the name of the recipe, a glorious abomination of deliciousness, and then on the back, an actual recipe for making that dish. Now, I'm debating whether or not I should make pictures of the dishes once I've made them, and put those pictures on the t-shirt. But I think that would be a fun series to do. There's a little bit more of a quippy philosophical thing where it's like easy isn't a synonym for worthwhile. And one of my classic favorites that I stated at one point was, I'm a mad scientist. Well, mad science is really more of an art than a science. And so that statement of mad science is really more of an art than a science, I would wear the hell out of a sweatshirt that said that. Or a lab coat. I got to see if I can find if they'll do a lab coat. That would be amazing. Just quippy statements of who knew building rampaging death bots would be so expensive. I exist. Now what am I supposed to do? That's one. I must doodle for the artist out there. Or likewise, I could make one that's for baby clothes. I must doodle, and an entirely different kind of doodle. Some straight up inspirational statements that I've said, like you can only get better after you've gotten started. So start something today, something like that. Some quirky ideas here, like I have one here that's we should finish what we're working on so we can go to bed. This is actually a quote I made at one point. I was stating to somebody like, we should finish what we're working on so we can go to bed. After which I also said, we should start an annual scissor relay race. And that's my brain for you. One of the ones that I did want to do was commence culinary improvisation, which is a thing I said during one of my cooking videos where I was doing some culinary improvisation, and I thought it was a nice little catchphrase, so I may just chunk that up onto an apron or a t-shirt. So those are some of the ideas of things that I'm working on for statements for t-shirts. Some of them are like, I haven't said some of them because honestly they're politically pot stirring, and I don't want to really provoke that for a conversational thing on here, but making them available for people to purchase and wear and display I think that's fair enough. I mean, you don't have to listen to me. You shouldn't have to listen to me talk about political standpoints or political views. But there's no reason why people who have an interest in a given political perspective couldn't get a shirt of me expressing those same concepts. It's not hurting anybody. I'm not forcing it on any viewers at that point. And one of the ones that I posted a comment on Twitter one day, and I said, it's super, super simple, but it encompasses a lot of the thoughts of most of the people I know and hang out with. And it was just the simple thing of, sometimes I worry. You feel like it's the preface of a conversation, but it's not. It's the whole conversation. Instead of saying, like, sometimes I worry about my mom and whether or not she's okay. No, this is just full on, like, the world is a little crazy right now. And so sometimes I just worry. And I kind of want a shirt that just expresses that. Sometimes I worry. That's it. And it's a pretty straightforward shirt. And so some of these are very straightforward, simple statements. And it comes down at that point of doing a very artistically written. So hand lettering something or lettering something in a visual medium that I can actually, like a Inkscape or something like that. I don't know if I'm skilled enough with that just yet. And then there's some simple, fun artist comments or readers or writers comments. And so I've got a list of, like, the top priority ones here that I'm going to see about doing some hand lettered writing for this week. I'm trying to figure out if there's a simple way to visually, I think I can get a brightly colored piece of paper and do the green screen technique where I can remove the background from the finished, like I could literally paint onto one of those pieces of bright green poster board and then green screen out the green on the background to just get the letters, and then trim up any fuzz around the edges of it and make it an entirely doable piece of artwork that can be placed on a shirt without having to remove the background so much. So that's sort of what I want to dabble with this week. And, like, I want to dabble with more than that, but honestly, I'm just not going to have the time. I think my time is at a premium enough right now that I probably won't be able to do more than this. But I'm going to give it a go to see if I can, maybe pick 1 to 3 of these slogans. I may just do a simple rough draft of these t-shirts right now in a plain font, or see what options they have for fonts on Teespring and just put one of those together, like the Sometimes I Worry, and see what I can do without having to construct any of the special artwork. And then maybe go a little bit further into doing hand lettering as time allows during the week. So that's sort of where I'm at right now with where I'm going with this. So I'm going to pick maybe 1 to 3 of these slogans and just take a run with it. And with that said, I am probably going to call it here because we're kind of hitting the edge of my time here tonight without interrupting anything. So I'm going to call it here. Hopefully I have something to share by the end of the week. I know I have Views Day tomorrow, possibly another video tomorrow night if I can. And then the whole rest of the week may be hit or miss as to whether or not I can do live videos again. We'll see. I'll give it an honest try. We had a slight surprise today when I got into work, and it was the manager of the store has quit. So now not only are we understaffed and still not ready to grand open, despite the fact of being 3 weeks into the grand open, but now we don't have a manager we had, and it's off on an assistant manager to manage this until we get something resolved in the next few days. Like, really, honestly, I don't know. Like, I know they're going to be able to stay open. I just don't know how they haven't closed it down and said, like, give us another month to bring it back up, because it shouldn't be running the way it's being run. And Friday I get the next paycheck. We'll see if they've fixed the mistakes they put on the paychecks the first time. If they haven't, I may very well just tell them I'm going to walk. It's not worth the stress load that they're putting this through right now. But, you know, I debate on that. Like, I could walk, or I can continue to work only as much as I want to and let them fire me at some point, and then appeal them in court about the back pay owed. I don't know. I'll figure it out, but we got to figure that out. So I got a lot of work to do this week. I'm hoping I get the chance to do some creative stuff in here too. So thanks for joining me. I will probably see you tomorrow night. Maybe from the makerspace. I don't know. All right. Take care. And good night. It's the crazy, crazy days. There we go. Did I get the T in there, or is this running that slow? Yep, there we go. I'll catch you later. Take care.